Carp. Jesus when hunting up in North Texas. I was on my first property of the night, had been there about 45 minutes, arriving very early, still daylight, and hogs have walked out into the pasture along with the cattle. The wind is in my favor, which is great. The problem is that the sun is going down behind me. I am between the sun and the hogs, and so any approach that I make during daylight hours has the problem with me being backlit and them potentially seeing me. I'm going to be shooting my TX-15 multi-purpose carbine enhanced from Lone Star Armory, and I'm going to be shooting some Hornady SST 123 grain bullets loaded by Druid Hill Armory in the Starline brass. The current video that you're seeing is through a Bering Optics Super Yoter-R thermal weapon sight that I have mounted on a tripod that I'm using as a spotter, and I've ranged the hogs with the laser rangefinder, and they're out there at about 195 yards at this point, farther than I wanted to shoot. So I've moved the Bering Optics Super Yoter. It's along the fence. I've gone through the gate. I'm making my approach towards the hogs. I'm using that hay bale, trying to keep it between the hogs and myself, and while I'm making my approach I noticed that there's quite a bit of rooting along one edge of the feeding area. So hogs have been here previously. Now here I come, again keeping the hay bale as much as I can between the hogs and myself so they don't notice me. Setting up my shooting sticks, and now moving them into position. Got my recorder going. Now I've set up on the right side of the hay bale because I'm expecting the hogs to run back in the direction which they came from, which is off to the right. One last nuke of my thermal weapon sight. Finally getting the lens cap open. There's my hogs out there at about 140 yards. There are the cattle closest to the hogs. Now on my way out during my stalk, I'm eyeing the area with my eyes, seeing what's going on in the field. I've got all the cattle off to the right hand side. There are no cattle off to the left, but I need to be wary of the cattle off to the right. Alright, I'm going to take this broadside hog. The hog is hit 3 times at this point. There's one of the cattle. Another one runs through my kill box, and I drop the hog. Wow, that looked pretty sketchy, didn't it? Aside from only dropping one hog, those cattle running through my kill box was not something that looked very good on video. However, sometimes video is quite deceiving, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I finish up, secure my rifle, get some GPS measurements, and then head on back to the truck and wait for more hogs. Now this is what's going on. Here I'm getting lined up on the shot. During my walk up, I've already surveyed where the livestock are, and I've kept that in mind. First 2 shots connect, the third one misses, this one connects. And then right here, as I've panned over to the right, I've lifted my head off the scope and I'm scanning the area. Quick peek through the scope, one of the cows have moved out of the way, another quick scan, I know there's another cow coming. It goes running by, and I know I'm free to shoot at that point. So while it may have looked sketchy in real time, it really wasn't. I was able to make use of this being a daylight shooting situation by keeping good situational awareness, lifting my head up, surveying the area where the cows were between the shots, keeping an eye on where the cows were, which way they were running, and knowing how many needed to pass by before I could shoot again. Now to give you the reverse perspective of the shooting situation, there's my downed hog. There in the distance is a hay bale that I was shooting from, and the truck from which I originally spotted the hogs.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
The hog came in at 110 pounds and was a gilt, which is an unfarrowed female, meaning that she's a female of reproductive age that hasn't given birth yet. And this one wasn't pregnant. She'd been hit a total of 4 times. Alright, Tuesday night found Ben and I headed up to North Texas with the threat of rain coming in. We got a tour of the back portion of our property that we hadn't hunted previously, and we spotted some hogs, and we've come back to the same area, and Ben is set up here on the top of the hill overlooking the cattle gate, had hogs down in the low area. Now these are daylight hogs, and had this been nighttime we would have just simply headed down the hill, but instead we're going to head around the opposite side of the gate, come across to the right behind this big hill, go down around the hill, come in front of this tree, low, walk across the road, hit the tree line on the opposite side, hug the tree line, circle around the pasture, come back to this direction, and head straight towards the hogs, which is exactly what we did. Here's an action photo of Ben low walking across the road, trying to not get spotted by the hogs. And there they are.
Okay, I got the one on the far right. You got the one on the far right? No, he's got his butt towards me. I can take the one in the back. Okay. I got his butt towards me. Tell me when you're good. Okay, I'm good. Oh, and I'm not. Okay, I've got the one to the left of it. Shooter ready? Shooter ready. 3, 2, 1. Going left. That sounded like a hit. Be patient. Good shot. I just caught the trail edge of that. Nice shot. Thank you. It may have been high on the back. It may still be moving. No motion detected. I still got one squirming from our openers. You want me to shoot it? Yeah, go ahead. Safe. Safe. Fist bump. Bam.
We head down to check out the hogs. We think this one in front is mine, the one in back is Ben's. This is going to be my runner hog, and we're headed over into the field off to the left where Ben's wounded hog was, and we're going to do a search for this hog, and we go all over this field looking for the hog, and we're not seeing it anywhere. So I get to walk all the way back uphill to the truck while Ben collects together the hogs. And we've got 3 hogs down, all milk sows, not that heavy. Ben's hog is on the right, mine are the 2 on the left, and I tell Ben, I thought your hog was a lot bigger. He said, so did I. Well, when we went to move these hogs, we found his hog. It turned out to be a 150-pound pregnant sow with 7 on board, so he got a great big sow, and I got the other 3. The rain's really picked up at this point. As we headed to check out other parts of the property, Ben riding on the back, banging on the roof of the truck for me to stop right on this cattle guard because he has spotted this one lone boar way out in the distance. We think this is a pretty good sized hog, so we carefully unload our gear from the truck, trying not to break our ankles in the cattle guard. And we make our stalk down the hill. At this point, I'm scanning with my handheld, looking to see if any other hogs are going to materialize from the tree line, because our one boar has turned out to be an entire sounder. Satisfied that there aren't any other hogs coming out, Ben gets tasked with shooting the biggest hog off on the right hand side, and I'm going to pick one of the hogs on the left.
Are you ready? Shooter ready. 3, 2, 1. Well, that was quick. Just keep an eye out. Pop out in the back area back there. Fist bump. Fist bump, boom. Safe. Safe.
Well, the hogs were not nearly as large as we anticipated. Ben came away with a 100-pound sow, I came away with a 110-pound sow, and the runner was a 50-pound boar. However, these were not the last hogs we saw of the night, but they were the last huntable hogs that we saw. On the way home on the county road, we saw this little group. Carpe sus, my friends.